Okay, it's just making a few adjustments on my dark back here, just so it didn't look too outliney. Now, here's just a note. Why do I put dark in the back of all the drawings I've done? Well, because there's sort of dark here. That's one reason. But today, you can see it's kind of darker even than it is back here. And I do that so that the rows will actually stand out more, so it will look more illuminated. That's the reason why I do it. Just makes things look cool. That's all. So, anyways, back to this now. Here I just did all the standard sort of stuff that I do, background and looking for values, here and there, and thinking of things individually, but then also trying to think of the shape as a whole, and sometimes maybe exaggerating a little bit just because, it is a drawing after all, and wanted to read nice and clear and three-dimensional. Okay, so now I'm going to go in here, and you're going to see that the shading in here is like super duper simple. Mostly what it is with this and with so many other things is just getting over your psychology. You think, oh, it's glass. It must be hard, right? Not really. Okay, so here, I'm just going to start up here just because, and sort of trying to pick out the values a little bit. And I'm going to keep this kind of light, not worrying about the pattern. And what else? Oh, did I? I must hit my camera here. Sorry about the little bit of a wiggle. Alright, good enough. And I'm going to add a little bit of value over here, just a little bit, so it's just not totally clean white. That might actually come in really handy later, having a little bit of value in here, because then what it will do is I can make some values in here, maybe screw around with them a little bit, so that it sort of shows that distortion and that lensing that I was talking about before with the glass. Okay, so I've got a little bit here. I even noticed that, like right in here, it's a little bit stronger. So I made it a little bit stronger right here. I could put in the shadow now, maybe. Maybe I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, and so I've kind of roughed that in, and then I'm going to use my finger to just sort of spread that out so I don't have a super distinct line anywhere for that shadow. Once again, I've shown you the trick before. You could use a piece of paper, for instance, just rolled up. That way you don't get it all over your fingers. I'm trying to be conscious of some of the nice sort of variations within the shadow itself, you know. So for instance, I see this nice bit of light right in here, the shadow, so I'll just erase away a little bit of it. Maybe there's a little something going on here, maybe a little bit right in here. There. And that's just giving it a little bit that more interest, and it's giving me the impression of that sort of reflected light that's going through even the shadow and everything. And just makes it look a little bit better, a little bit more magical. Maybe there's a little bit more. I just need a little bit more stuff to move around over here a little bit. Okay, that's good. Good enough. Okay, so now looking in here, okay, these values are going to be really subtle, some of them. So like you can see here, there's a little bit different value than right over here, right? And that's going to be a real big difference maker. So I see this big square area of lighter value, and then this area around here that has a little bit darker value. I've already got some stuff on my fingers. I think I'm going to use that and just color in here, and then any sort of slop I'll just erase away. Okay, so that's definitely a darker value, but not like super darker, right? Okay, and so clean up the line maybe a little bit so it's more distinct. Sure, right here. Maybe there's a little bit more schmutz right in there. Okay. Might end up using the eraser a lot in here. We'll see. And then, like I say, keep this pretty clean in here. Okay, and so then I'm going to add some of our lighter areas up here. Let's add the darkers first, and then there might be some areas right around here where I erase out a little bit. But we'll start with our darkest, our obvious dark areas. Okay, and there's, if I see any detail in there, I'll try and get it, kind of close to what that detail might be. It might not be perfect. Just looking for subtle differences in the values. Not huge ones, little differences. That's a real big difference maker right there. Oh, did I hit it with my head again on that camera? I've got the camera set up right next to my head. That's hard to do this. Okay, so here we go. And you see, so those are those two for these guys right over here. Close enough, right? And then we've got a little bit of a darker value here. Not very dark. But you can see it. There it is. A little bit. And then it's got where the stem is here. Got a little bit. And it's got a weird little jig jog right here. It's kind of cool. And then a little bit right here. I gotta really determine what's my glass and what's my top. Here's my top right here. Okay, so there's that little jig jog that's got going on with this, and then some a little bit darker sort of value shape right here. And then here's more of that stem doing its weird, crazy way that it wraps around there. And there's some variation in value in the stem as well. It's got sort of a lighter section and a darker section, just like it did up here. So we can work that out a little bit. There's sort of a strange little darker area right here. Then there's definitely an area here. We want to sort of make it look as if, yeah, maybe that's a mimicking of the stem. Here, a little darker. Definitely down here. All right, that's looking pretty good. Good enough, at least. And maybe here along the edge, it might take and just shoo. And I'm not sure if I see that exactly, but by going like that, see, I'm going to just reinforce this edge, the fact that this is a form after all. Okay, and then in here, I have this little thing going on, which I can not tell exactly what it's a reflection of. Is it a reflection of the rose? I don't think so. It's kind of long color. But it's reflecting something in the room. I won't give it a whole lot. And who knows? Who knows? But just put it in there, because if you see it, then that's what God put in there, right? That's what you can call it. God, you can call it Mother Nature, but you can call it reality. But it's there, right? So if you record it, then 9 times out of 10, it's going to make for a better drawing. If you don't, maybe that's okay too. Maybe that's your decision that you've made. Yeah, I got a little bit here, just little subtle differences. And then definitely here, a little something going on, like a little reflection of itself within itself. And I'm not going to draw every detail of it, but trying to sort of look for the patterns of the darks and lights. How is the grain of that going, the texture of that going? Is it curving around like this? Is it straight up and down? Is it kind of, I don't know, just kind of mixed up and marbly? What's going on with that? highlights within it. Maybe. Once again, just using my eraser as a drawing tool. Okay. And then definitely it's got something going on down here. Okay, I might have to take this for a second. I just can't get to the angle this way. Okay, so I'm back here. I just took it and had to have it more in front of me because it was really hard to get to some of this stuff in this direction. But as you can see, I just sort of darkened in this area and trying to look for areas of like, well, where is it a little bit darker? Where is it a little bit lighter? And it's really subtle, some of it. Where there's, maybe a little bit of a pattern going on, that kind of thing. Those little attentions, right, that'll really pick up to your viewer and, go from being like, yeah, that's okay, to like, wow, that's really cool, you did that. And so here I'm just going to finish this off. Oh, and I made the lid just a little bit darker, just to separate it from the glass a little bit more. Okay. Oh, my lights went out. Oh, well, I can't make the lights come on in this room. Anyways, we're just about done here anyways. We'll just finish up. We just have a little bit of dark area to do around here. So let's make that just a little bit darker. So we have more of a line there. Let's get just a little bit into the corner right here. Oh. And let's get a little bit of darkness right in here. Hopefully that's not changed the light too much. I'm doing the best I can, guys, to try and give you some good tutorials. But we just got to deal with what we got, right? Okay. So there, and here's one final tip, is that sometimes, I told you to use a wooden pencil, right? Because when you use the wooden pencil, you may have seen it so many times that I have used that wooden pencil on the edge of the pencil to draw with. I can get these subtle things. It works good. You can get a little bit of shading in that way, but also draw lines that aren't so precise. All this good stuff, and you just can't do that with those mechanical pencils. And I'll tell you, I just picked some up. A plug for the 99-cent store. 20 wooden pencils for $1. And then about 40 of those little cap erasers were also for about $1. Actually 99 cents, so there you go. So anyways, hey, but look at that. We're done. And so hopefully, we can see, and my lights came on. Okay, hopefully we can see that, in here we've got like sort of the magic of the glass, transparency, yet reflection going through. And we've got, here's a nice little bit in here in the shadow that really gives it that quality of light going through. And, hopefully we saw how the complexity of the rows, if you just broke it down to here's big, here's another big, and it gets smaller and smaller and smaller as it goes down. Same thing with the leaves. Same thing with everything, So if you've been following along, hopefully you can now do things that you couldn't do before, or things make sense to you now in ways that they didn't before. And like I said, it's a drawing intensive, so we've gone pretty quick. We've gone from basic concept to finished execution using those concepts. So you'll have a chance to practice because you get to do this every week. An observational drawing every week. That will really make a big difference, and I'm looking forward to doing it this year myself, and I can see even in doing this drawing intensive, I've become a little bit better drawer. Okay, and that's especially for you good drawers out there. Learn the fundamentals. That's what it's really all about. That's what separates the professionals from the amateurs. Is the professionals, they realize how important fundamentals are for giving you an overall structure that will allow you to do stuff. Okay. Well, that's enough blah, blah, blah out of me. And like I say, I hope that you've enjoyed it. For those people that are working with computers, well, we get to work with computers now. People that are working with ceramics, we get to work with ceramics now. And people who are doing art, guess what? We get to do a little bit more of this. Okay, take care.